Welcome to AP World History. This is Chapter 12. We'll be talking about the Tang and the Song dynasty in China. This period is characterized by prosperity and new technological innovations. This period will last for about 600 years. The Sui dynasty precedes the Tang dynasty, and it lasts for about 30 years. Between the Han and the Sui dynasty is known as the period of division, chaos, wars, warlords. China is not unified. Now the Sui will bring China under control, and they'll be around for 30 years, and then the Tang dynasty will supplant them. So there is political disorder. The Sui dynasty is going to establish a strong central government. The Sui dynasty expands China, but it's going to be a brief rule. One of their major accomplishments, they did build the Grand Canal, which made the transportation of resources within their borders much easier. Wang Di is going to be the son of Wen Di, and he is going to eventually bring the Sui dynasty to an end. Here shows the Grand Canal. Very important technological innovation, made transportation much easier. Wen Di is the emperor who establishes the Sui dynasty, and then and he will expand the borders, solidify his rule. For his time in office, he does make things better for the peasants because he lowers the taxes, and he insists that grain be stored in case of famine. So people are fed and the taxes are lower, and he seems to be fairly popular with the people. Here's a picture of Wen Di of the Sui dynasty. Young Di will overthrow his father. He will assassinate him. He will establish a legal code and promote Confucian education. He was somewhat fond of luxuries and extravagant construction projects, and so that's what he'll turn his attention to. Here shows Yang Di of the Sui dynasty. Now, as he killed his father, he himself will be assassinated. And there will be instability. It will appear as if China is slipping back to that age of division, or the era of division, when things were sort of chaotic. Li Yuan or the Duke of Tang, emerged as the leader of China after Yang Di's death. Are you going to have to know that for the AP exam? No, probably not. Taizong will abdicate the throne, which is Yang Di's son. Li Yuan will establish the Tang dynasty, and it will last for about 300 years. The Tang dynasty revived the civil service exam system, which was based on Confucianism. The exams were open to all men, even commoners, so it gave you a chance to move up in social structure. Only the rich, practically only rich, could afford necessary education to take the exam. So even though it was open to all, usually it was the rich, the upper crust, the elites that were being involved as government officials who could be educated and take the exam. Growth of bureaucracy cuts the power of the nobles, because these bureaucrats, these government officials, will answer to the emperor. Buddhism will come in before the Tang dynasty, and it will be expanded. Confucianism is promoted, so these two things are going to work together. So Buddhism had been firmly established long before the Tang dynasty appears. one of the things that was so popular about Buddhism was that it gave hope to people in the countryside, and it also people found a refuge within the confines of the temples and the Buddhist monks' land. And so people are going to turn to that because there seems to be some hope. Uh, the masses were attracted to Mahayana Buddhism, uh, which venerates or you worship the great Buddha, and it is a pathway to heaven, to nirvana. Chan or Zen Buddhism stresses more on meditation, appreciation of natural and artistic beauty. It's not so much a pathway to heaven, but more a lifestyle. Empress Wu of the Tang Dynasty will be very supportive of the Buddhism, and she will commission art, sculpture, and so this is a golden age for Buddhists during the Tang Dynasty. Wu shows her a painting of her. It's one of those few times that a woman assumes leadership in government. It wasn't necessarily the case during the different dynasties in China. The Tang Dynasty under Wu will support Buddhism and also expand and strengthen the empire. There was some conflict between the Confucius scholars and Taoists over Buddhism. They believed that Buddhism was a foreign religion and that somehow was destroying Confucius ideas and Taoist ideas. And so eventually these Confucius scholars, Taoist scholars, will turn the Tang rulers against Buddhism because they say it's depriving the kingdom of taxes and laborers. And as a result, during the Tang Dynasty, towards the end, they will destroy monasteries and shrines and force the Buddhist monks to pay taxes. And so these monks and nuns who are part of the Buddhist religion will have to return to civilian life, and they'll be treated like ordinary Chinese citizens. And so Confucianism will become the central ideology or mindset of the Chinese culture. Buddhism will sort of fade away. You don't have too much Buddhism in China today as a result of this change in direction. Now Buddhism will be exported to other places like Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, but it will lose favor in China. Of course, the Buddhists do leave their mark on the landscape in a way because Chinese think about heaven, charity, the law, but it will cease to be the dominant influence in China. The Tang will lose power over the northern region. Nomads, barbarians who were once loyal to the emperor. Provincial governors got a little more independent and refused to pay the taxes. Tang rulers were sort of powerless to enforce this. And so they're going to start losing their grip. By 907 CE, the last Tang emperor is killed. And there will be a period of instability, a short period, and then the Song dynasty will come into being. Zhou Huangjin conquers Yangtze region of Zhou and the kingdom of Shu in the Shishun and becomes the emperor Taizu. That seems like a mouthful. You won't have to remember all that, but that's what happens. So there's a transfer of power. Shows a picture of our fellow Zhu Shi or Taizu. This is a little looks like he's doing pretty well. This shows a picture of the Song dynasty. A little bit smaller than the Tang dynasty. Again, this will be a period of prosperity and innovation. The population will double during the Song and the Tang dynasties to about 100 million people. One of the reasons that this happens is champa, which is a strain of rice that can be grown 2 times a year, which significantly improves the diet of the Chinese, and they're then able to have more children and they're able to feed them. So there will be a population boom. In 742 CE, the population is about 50 million, and by 1100 CE, it has doubled. They estimate to 100 million. There's quite a few more cities, and the world is a little more sophisticated. This is the hub of civilization. They do spend a deal of time studying science and technology. They will invent gunpowder, porcelain, mechanical clocks, paper money. The gunpowder and the mechanical clocks came under the Tang dynasty. The paper is going in movable type is going to come under the Song dynasty. But they were very interested in mathematics, the use of negative numbers, and also the concept of zero. And you can see here from the diagrams, these pictures, the accomplishments, the production of iron products and paper. And so they're going to use that in constructing various things. And we're going to stop there and tackle part 2 next time. Now, the secret word that I want you to remember is Sinification, which is China influencing its neighbors. So know that secret word, because it will be asked on the test, and if you know it, well, you'll be rewarded.